Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center for round 2, the second video showing the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves of the week, and they're right here in front of me. So let's check them out. All right, we're starting things off this week, or I guess we're not starting things off because we did the video on Tuesday as well, because there's just that many new knives at this point. So we're starting off the second half of this week with a fixed blade. This is a limited edition TRC knife. I'm happy to have gotten some more TRC in at the Knife Center because they do really high quality work. And this is actually the last one of these we have left at the time we're filming this, really. Number 8 out of 300. This is the Urban Tactical. 525 bucks, so it's definitely not cheap. What you're getting though is a 3.8 inch blade. The steel is Elmax, and the profile of that blade is like perfectly adaptable. That's the way I should start referring to like drop points like this from now on, instead of like basic, because it's basic has bad connotations after all. Listen, we don't want to start talking about Chevy Astros again this early in the video. A drop point shape like this is perfectly adaptable. It can be tactical, it can be utilitarian, it can be outdoorsy, and this is a nice implementation of it. Despite the blade shape being, you know, potentially outdoorsy, this is not what I would consider an outdoorsy version of this knife, the Urban Tactical part. The scales here are, the mission was like slim, but not too slim. If I were like spending time working this hard in the outdoors, I would want some fatter scales right there for a little better grip. I suppose this would make a decent hunting option with that amount of thinness right there. But it is designed to be easily carried in an urban tactical environment. You know, precision, unpredictability, that sort of thing. Wear nice and tight to your loadout while giving you just enough for a solid grip for sure. Flared tubes front and back give you, lashing options, and actually gives you, the forward tube anyway, kind of a nice pinch point right there if you want to do a pinch grip for utility work like so. Lanyard fob there at the back, full tang, really cool finish. The handles are black camo carbon fiber, and I think they look fantastic. The sheath that it comes with is Kydex. Comes with a single strap for horizontal carry. Comes with a pull-the-dot snap on the strap, so it's not going to get snagged and pop open. It'll only open in one direction due to the tab on the inside of the snap. These holes are Tech-Lock compatible, however, so if you have other aftermarket mounting options, you'd prefer to use that, you certainly could. There you go. We've also got, I don't know if they're not live on the site yet while we're filming this, but they might be very soon, some limited edition Apocalypses in Venatus steel from TRC, which should be very cool. So you can check those out as well, if you like. Next up, we have the Sage 6. Now this looks very similar to a Sage 6 you might have already seen. That is because the Sprint Run higher end version of this knife looks pretty much identical to this version. But we have the standard version in stock right now too. 210 bucks for this. You've got an S30V blade, 3 inches long, nice drop point shape. It's kind of my favorite blade shape that Spyderco offers, quite honestly, in the 3-inch range, even though I don't actually own one of these, but I own a couple pair of 2s, or a pair of 3s, go figure. But I really like the utility of this highly adaptable drop point shape, don't you know? The handles here, well, the higher end version, which we still have actually, is available for $300. This is $210, so it's a $90 jump. You get a bump up to S90V blade steel, so a lot more edge retention than the S30V, and you get a full peel ply carbon fiber handle on that version too. This version has a peel ply carbon fiber overlay on top of G10. So the actual tactile feel of the knife is pretty much the same as the high-end version. It's just not the full carbon fiber. So you might have a tiny bit more weight with this knife, but it's still quite a manageable weight. I mean, 3.1 ounces, it's not heavy. Full grip is enabled by the signature Spyderco guarded finger choil there at the front. As you can see, that gives me plenty of room there for a gorilla grip, even with my slightly larger than average hands. You've got the thumb ramp for traction. You can scoot back on it for a little more reach or bringy downiness of the tip. southward cant.
Put that in the dictionary.
Why not? And we have the button-actuated version of Spyderco's compression lock. And even though other people can make compression locks nowadays, and they can't actually call them compression locks because that Spyderco still has the trademark on that name. But we are seeing some competition doing button-actuated compression style locks, and they call them various different things. But it's cool to kind of, at this moment, see the original kind of staying fresh. We saw this type of implementation on the Smock a few years ago, and the Sage series within Spyderco. They all look like they have the same profile, but they're designed to showcase different locking mechanisms that have shown up over the years. So you've got finger-safe closing action, you've got wrist flickability, open and closed, works well for lefties or righties. You've got a reversible wire clip to kind of further that. A little awkward with my left hand doing the wrist flick open there. And the thing I like about the placement of the button here, I said this when we had the sprint run on as well, I didn't think I would like this very much because I thought it might get in the way more than if it were further up by the pivot. In fact, I've found the exact opposite to be true. Like if I'm holding it right there, I'm not really touching it. Yeah, I'm close to it, but I'm not actually on the button. And if I choke up, yeah, I can feel the edge of the button a little bit with my middle finger. Your mileage may vary, of course, with your particular hand size, but I'm not putting pressure on that button, and I can pinch grip by the pivot, again, keeping my thumb from touching the button. So,
can't keep his hand in one place.
Sorry about that, Thomas. I will try to do better.
This will be a long video.
It's cool. You can check it out right now. But the reason I wanted to show that first is because we have Kizer's implementation of a compression style lock actuated by a button showing up on the Drop Bear 2, which is a new size essentially for the very popular Drop Bear series, but it's not a dramatically different size. Let me show you what I mean right here. Here is version of the KnifeCenter exclusive Drop Bear that we had. There's not a lot of difference between them, but the handle itself is just, I'll stack them here so we're oriented one way. It's just a tiny bit shorter than the standard one. I'm not here to explain why they decided to do that as opposed to going with the standard size, because I don't know. But let me tell you about the knives in front of me anyway. The Drop Bear 2, available with a couple of different locks, but with the button actuated compression style lock, or we actually, they're calling it liner lock, a button liner lock on the website. So it's a ball lock, a button actuated liner lock.
On top.
2 blade shapes currently, and then a few different finishes will be available. And the price on these, a very reasonable $66, just under $66 right now. 2 blade shapes available here. You've got the sheep's foot and blade length on that is 2.96, so actually about the same as the the original Drop Bear, although you do lose more in the big choil area here, so not as much sharpened edge. And blue rich light handles on this one. You folks know I love rich light. Well, you may not know, but if you didn't, you know now. Flat ground, or a mid-height saber grind there with flat geometry. Nitro V, which is a nice tough stainless steel, thinner blade stock than the original Drop Bears too, so should prove itself to be maybe a little bit slicier. The action is very good. Oh, it's, really nice and snappy action. Finger safe closing, righty and lefty compatible, of course. Folded over deep carry pocket clip, leaving just a little bit of a handle there exposed. As far as the button placement on this one, you have to watch it just a little bit more than the Spyderco, but standard grip here, it's on the forward area. I wouldn't really use this choil too much because of my finger size. As you can see there, it's an unguarded choil, so I don't like touching the back of that edge so much. But if I am up there, I'm going to also be using the long stretch of jimping with my thumb, so I'm not really touching it there either. Pinch grips might be the only grip where I would make contact with that button, so I would be careful about that. The drop point version, we've got, what's the color?
You just had it.
Tan. tan aluminum. Something was like, you know, we could have thrown like desert tan or like, you know, something, but it's tan. And it is aluminum. Slimmer carry, slimmer blade stock, again, hollow grind on this one, which combined with that thinner geometry as well should make that bite right behind the edge very, very laser-like and more efficient than the standard versions. And the toughness of Nitro V is going to be nice on that thinner edge as well. Nice tip on here, a little bit more acute than the standard Drop Bear. The Drop Bear 2, as mentioned, is also available with a crossbar lock, which would be Kizer's clutch lock, which means you could adjust the tension on it if you want. And we have 3 blade shapes here. You've got the same modified sheep's foot. This is shown with a black canvas micarta, even though it's kind of an ashy gray, but it is black. You've got aluminum with the drop point shape as well. Again, Nitro V on all of these, price about 67 bucks for this aluminum one. Ooh, about 59 for this micarta version right here with the clip point blade shape. Let me see if that's the same for, yeah, that's the same for the micarta version of the sheep's foot right there too. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, you got the new clip point, nice long clip and very acute tip. Nice action from the crossbar lock there. And the tang area here actually looks like it's got that borderline bottle opener look we've seen on stuff like the CIVIVI Cubit. Haven't confirmed whether that works or not, but it might. Again, the blade shape on the drop point is a little bit different from the button version to the crossbar version. It's a little more broad, kind of like the original version, although the tip looks a little higher, but thinner and hollow ground. Again, take your pick. Not really gonna go wrong, quite honestly, with any of them. If I were to pick a favorite though, it'd probably be that boring old tan one right there. I like the shape best on that one, I think. And the material feels really good. It's not too slick of an aluminum, which is nice. Next up from Kizer, we have got the Johann Jordan designed Retro. Certainly has retro aesthetics. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be based on pictures. Like, this is not a small knife, and it's very broad here at the back as well. So you can get a really strong grip on that knife because of that swell at the back there. Price on these are about 75 bucks. You've got 2 handle versions. Both of them are, I think they're both linen, actually. Let me check the other. Oh, sorry, no, there's a black G10 and this linen micarta version right here, which feels very, very good. Nice vintage feeling accents. The blade itself is Nitro V. Price is 75 bucks, if I didn't mention that already. 3.54 inches on the blade. Thumb jimping and forefinger jimping for reaching up if you want to do that type of motion. Bit more stout on the blade as well, so that feeling of robustness from that wide handle carries through to a stronger blade right there. Yeah, nice drop point shape on this one too. I like the drop points, don't you know? You can reverse flick it thanks to the fuller in the blade there. You've got thumb studs as well. You've even got a front flipper. Haven't tried it yet. Easy. Just surprising everyone, quite honestly. I may just not, if there's multiple opening options, I may not do front flippers anymore. That's just me. Thoughts, comments, thoughts and prayers in the comments?
They go in the comments.
Feels good. Yeah, the vibes are really good. Like, it is bigger than I thought it was gonna be, but works quite nicely. Deep carry pocket clip, reversible for left or right carry, liner lock, ball bearings in the pivot, kind of everything you would expect from a modern folder. Even if it looks like a not modern folder. It's pretty cool. All right, let's do some Kizer fixed blades now. The NORCROSS is this next series right here, and there's several different options. There's a more tactical-y version and a more divey version that can be had as well. Let me start with the tactical-y version. Price on these are all about 90 bucks, and we've got a Nitro V blade. A lot of Nitro V, which is cool. I like Nitro V. 4.09 inches. This version right here is single-edged. The top edge here is not sharpened, but if you wanted to, that edge is nice and thin. So putting, or the unsharpened edge is nice and thin. So putting your own sharpened edge on there would be no problem. G10 for the handles. It's a full encapsulated tang. G10 bolted on to each side. leaving no tang exposed. It is a symmetrical experience in the hand, so make sure you know which way you are cutting. Or if you don't want to make sure you know which way you're cutting, there is a double-edged version of this that is serrated on the back here, as well as being a sharpened plain edge at the top. That one has a black blade and a tan. We'll go with tan again. Yeah, they just call it tan G10. Tan G10 handles.
That tracks.
Yeah. 2 holes here at the top, which you could do lashing stuff with if you wish. These cutouts in the handle, are they anything?
They are cutouts.
They are sized for tritium vials, if you wanted to throw those in there. That's pretty cool. So it's not so much functional, although there's something to be said for the glow that tritium could provide, but it's more I would say, aesthetic. Now, in addition to the more pokey version, or the more tactical version, there are also more divey versions that come with this sharpened line cutter on the back side. And you can get this in a blunt tip, like so, or interestingly enough, the full pokey tip as well. Single-edged, but yeah, wouldn't necessarily recommend that as the primary dive knife if you need the prying capability there at the tip. But hey, it's cool to have options, I guess. Otherwise, same kind of deal. We're about 3 3/4 at the new length of this blade because of that cut off tip. And you got that very sharp line cutter as well. Orange G10 on both of those versions, with or without the tip. Sheath is Kydex. You've got a dot style but unbranded clip there, or a belt clip at the back. You can size it to fit your belt size exactly, and you can carry it horizontally or vertically quite easily. So, Tech-Lock compatible hole spacing as a result because of that. So it uses that same hole spacing. Very nice. Ooh, forgot to mention, glass breaker ceramic ball there at the back, and there's actually extra ceramic balls in the package, which I've never really seen loose like that before. They're in a little baggie, but loose in a baggie. So it must just be a press fit in case that ever pops out or cracks or anything like that. You could press fit a new one in. Next up.
See, I didn't have the advantage of someone telling me that, so I was very confused when I saw those.
Well, when you showed them to me too, we had to puzzle it for a minute and figure it out. Seth actually figured it out first. Smart guy, that Seth 30V over there. Next up, we have the Evenki 3 from Kizer. More of an outdoor-oriented thing. Outdoor on the land, I guess, as opposed to outdoor under the sea. The blade shape here is actually, it's designed or known from its namesake people, the Evenki people. A North Asian indigenous people, think like Siberia, that sort of thing. This is a blade shape that they use for everything. One of those things like the Inuit ulu. This is the blade that did everything. None of this, fancy, all kinds of extravagant different blade shapes or everything. This was the thing right here. And this is a pretty affordable knife too. 50 or just under $60 right now, $59.90. 4.5-inch blade, AEBL steel, which I love. It's very similar to Nitro V, maybe not quite as stainless, but you've got very tough material here, takes a fine edge really well, and it is still stainless after all. Handles are G10, nice bevel here towards the tip with some inlaid G10 ridges here for grip at the that pinch point right there, but the handle really does a good job of completely melting out of the way for getting up there and doing more precision cuts like that. Unguarded finger choil is fairly generous in size. Be careful when you're up there, of course. Always worth mentioning. This is less of like it doesn't feel like a bushcraft ready or a bushcraft type of knife. I wouldn't want to be carving a long time, like carving wood a long time with this. I'd want to be closer to the edge, and I don't like the unguarded choil there and that sort of thing. But for all-around utility, for hunting, for food prep and slicing and just general purpose stuff, it should work very, very well. The blade stock is thin, you got a full flat grind, you got a very tough material overall, full tang, oversized hardware to hold it down. I think it's pretty cool, and a great price, quite honestly. And it's especially a great price when you consider the sheath. People don't always think about sheaths being a big contributor to the cost on fixed blades, but they usually are. And this one kind of goes a little bit extra with the diamond sharpener there in between the 2 layers of Kydex holding this down. It's pretty cool. We saw this on some of the sheaths at Blade Show that Kizer, some of the knives they brought to Blade Show there, and I was hoping that it made it to production on some of them, and indeed, it seems to be the case. So that's really cool. And AEBL is going to be very easy to sharpen too. We got the slim style of unbranded dots attachment at the back. So a little more low profile, and again, your Tech-Lock compatibility is maintained. And it actually comes with a belt clip as well, if you'd rather go with that. There you go, check it out. All right, no more Kizers. How about some CIVIVIs? Got some good affordable stuff this week, actually, or this second half of the week. Also feeling very hunt-like, we have the CIVIVI Gander right here, about $78. Steel is 14C28N, which, like Nitro V, is a spin-off from AEBL. Very cool, a little bit more stainless. 3.6-inch blade, nice long clip point. The handles are orange G10 or black micarta. That comes with a black blade, or Gaborsha wood with a satin blade like this one. The feel is quite nice. Fills the hand a little bit better than the Evenki for me anyway. So if I were gonna use this for more than just hunting or food prep, I like the little bit of extra meat as it sits in my hand anyway. Again though, no guard at the front. So the edge is overground there. So again, just watch what you're doing while you're cutting with that knife. Overall feels really good. CIVIVI quality is like perfect. Pretty much. Kydex sheath, the CIVIVI T-clip here at the back, which is a Bob Trezzola designed kind of improvement of the original Tech-Lock. Instead of the holes on the outside edges of each of these, you've actually got slots. So real easy to make this work with just about any kind of hole pattern, no matter what sheath you've got. And those are available for very few amount of dollars separately if you want to pick up just that attachment for yourself. Designer of this knife is Matt Gentry. There you go. The designer of this next knife is Ben Peterson with the Baby Banter TG, which stands for touch grass, which is basically, intimating get out there and actually do stuff. Don't just sit down behind a desk or sit down behind a table full of knives talking about them. Get out there and actually do stuff. And you can do stuff with a small blade, don't you? Now this is being marketed as, and indeed our website as well calls this a clip point blade, but I'm here to argue. There is a hint of arc to the top of this cut right here. So it's not so much a straight clip, but it's actually an ever so slight drop point, but albeit one with a much more acute tip than the standard versions of the Baby Banter that have a much more pronounced arc right there. 2.34-inch blade, 14C28N steel, green G10 handles with a kind of wood grain finish milled into it, red liners with a red backspacer. It's a really nice color combination. The crossbar lock there, action is good. I think they've kind of tightened up their spring tension a little bit from the early CIVIVI crossbar locks out there. This feels a little more taut, which I like. I appreciate that. And despite the short handle, it is fairly hand-filling. I can get not quite a 4-finger gorilla grip, but a 3.5-finger gorilla grip on it when I need to. So you could push the blade a little toughly if you need to. Or you can carry it in a standard 3-finger grip here, or choke up for a more precise 4-finger grip. I wouldn't gorilla grip too much in that unguarded choil area right there, but it actually feels really nice in the heavy grip. And the toothpick and tweezers. Ben has been doing this a lot on some of his designs ever since he came out with the Sancho pen, and some of his knife designs have had the metal toothpick and tweezers as well. Very cool to see that making the jump over to this model. Or no, it didn't start with the Sancho pen. It started with the Sendi, didn't it? The CIVIVI Sendi.
It was earlier than last week, I don't remember.
I think it started with the Sendi, actually. Interestingly, the Sendi was originally supposed to be called the Cedar, and hence the texture on the G10 was designed to mimic like cedar shakes. Same texture you have on here. That's pretty cool, eh? Baby Banter, whether the crossbar locking version or the liner locking version, great, great, great small knives. Next up, the Pragma Prime from CIVIVI. Previous versions of this knife had a short blade, like sub 2.5 inch, and a carabiner on the back end. This is sized up for full-sized carry. 3.5 inch 14C28N blade, sheep's foot shape, although we call it a Wharncliffe on the website. It's kind of in between a little bit, that's fine. Full flat grind, very efficient geometry overall. Enough handle there for a full grip to really push that completely straight edge into some heavier cuts, which is nice. Aluminum champagne color is this one, but other flavors are available. Button lock, nice finger safe closing action, nice action in general. Yeah, really nice snap on the thumb studs right there. Reversibility is included with the deep carry pocket clip, making this a lefty-friendly option as well. Cool, stylish utility knife for sure. Next up, from We Knife Company, which is of course the parent brand of CIVIVI, but more premium knives, we have the Neves Knives designed Inmate, making inroads perhaps. That was dumb, but I guess we'll leave it in.
The Inmate broke out.
And which is good because now they're available to you. Several different versions of this are coming out. I like this version right here, this coloration. They call it polished gray. I think it's my favorite finish that We does on any of their things. It's like graphite dust. It has sheen, it has character. It really lets you see the character of the grinds, especially when there's a hollow grind like there is on this knife. I really, really enjoy it. And the kind of contrasting tone of the raindrop milling on the handle is nice too. 3.7-inch blade, 20 CV steel, hollow ground as mentioned, and the opening hole there right at the top. Slimmer hump than some of the prototypes we saw of these. It makes it a little bit more streamlined, which is nice. The cool thing about this to me is despite the size, it's way lighter than I would have expected it to be. It's nearly a 4-inch blade with titanium handles, and it's only 4 ounces on the scales. Milled out enough on the inside where not just the weight itself, but the actual balance is really nice. It's only slightly biased towards the handle, makes this whole thing handle and move as you're cutting really, really nicely indeed. And it's a handle shape that's gonna work for any hand size due to the neutrality of it. It's really nicely considered. The frame lock provides excellent stability. You've got a milled titanium pocket clip, a lanyard spot here at the back spacer, and let's check out the action. It's very, very good. Yeah, really nice. I'm not even trying to thumb open it just because that reverse flick feels so good. And actually, even an index finger flick feels great. There is a front flipper, but I said what I said earlier. I'm not front flipping things if I don't have to anymore. And I don't have to because it feels great without it. Check out all of the versions right now. $323 for that one right there. All right, next up we have the Coral from We Knife Company. This is a GTC design, so Gustavo T. Cecchini. I always like saying his name. And as you might expect, it has the SLT flipper tab right there. So it's a separate piece that actuates the flipping action and keeps it nice and out of the way when it's open. That's the same tab right there that you can see. And it's kind of, even still now, it's kind of something that's technically impressive. And I think that's the whole reason for this entire knife model as well. It's kind of a showcase of technical ability in a way. $378 for this version. You've got a 3-inch 20 CV blade, titanium handles with red lava flow fat carbon for the inlays. And what I mean by this is a showcase, it feels like less of a real user, even though it's kind of overbuilt like one. I mean, look at the thickness of that 20 CV there. You've got complex grinds. I love the full flat on the belly here, thinning it out a bit. More stout flat at the back, the cool little swedges right there. Cool milling and backspacer interactions going on at the back. But in actual use, like this type of grip right here, this thing right here is kind of complicating the use case for me a little bit anyway. This feels, a little precarious for heavier work. And otherwise, the knife is built where it could be used more heavily. This feels instead more kind of just lighter duty and precise cuts in nature. But if I wanted to choke up and push it hard, the little, thing about the bob right there is kind of digging into my index or middle finger. So I'm not too crazy about that, quite honestly. It's cool. It's built super well all around, I would say. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in this particular shape. Actually, Thomas brought up a good point that I had forgotten about, and you probably remembered this because Thomas carries the ZT55 many days of the week, which is a GTC design. We makes another GTC design, the Solid, which is an integral frame lock. It's much bigger. It has that flipper tab thing going on. It's got the compound grinds. So if you like the kind of technical aspect of it, but you want something maybe a little more usable, maybe check out the Solid. We'll link to that below as well. How about we do? All right. Thank you, Thomas, for reminding me.
And that's your quota.
Next up, Sencut, which is the most affordable tier of the CIVIVI Sencut empire. We have a new knife called the Aetheris, 40 bucks, and you get a lot of knife. Blade is about 3.7 inches long. Steel is 9CR series stainless, which is very, very capable, especially at the price range, and a couple different G10 colors for the handles. This one is an ivory G10. We've got ball bearings in the pivot. We've got full-length liners with a liner lock, a deep carry clip with reversibility, and a pocketed insert to keep things very low profile. These are features that not too long ago would have been considerably more expensive. And this is just a $40 knife with thumb studs and flippers. Great utilitarian or greatly useful shape, a highly adaptable drop point blade. See, oh, this one is technically a clip point. That is a straight line from here to there. The game is afoot. High hollow grind. I mean, the kind of knife you can get these days for very little money is an astonishingly high level of good. You know, for all the folks that do complain sometimes that we show a lot of expensive stuff. Fact of the matter is, there is usually more in terms of individual part numbers of expensive things than affordable things. But we got a lot of affordable things in this particular video, and there's a lot of great, phenomenal stuff. Such as this, for just 48 bucks, the CJRB Kestrel, designed by Ray Laconico with its really cool Wharncliffe blade, 3.3 inches long, stone-washed finish, a spray form steel at this kind of price range would have been unheard of literally like 4 years ago. RPM 9 is the steel there. Great, great performance. It's basically the 9CR you get on this Sencut right here, but done in a spray form fashion, which is not quite powder metallurgy. It's kind of an in-between type of technology, but because of the finer grain structure, you're gonna get more toughness and edge stability, even if the actual edge retention is not too far different from base 9CR. Really, really cool stuff. Green or black G10 available right now. Reversible deep carry clip. Nice ergos. I like how my pinky finger naturally sits on this upturn right here. It's a feature I often gravitate to because it makes it very easy to control the knife like so. And then you can get a really solid grip on it when you need a really solid grip. You got thumb studs. You got a front flipper. But like I said, I ain't front flipping no mo. Darn it.
Not today, at least.
Not today, at least. Till management says, you better front flip the things. Check out the Kestrel. Very nice. More expensive, you've got the Tactical Pass Com-Tact from Condor. The vibes of this are certainly more crude and rustic than the high-tech folders we just looked at. Made in El Salvador, price is about $128 right now. 4.3 inch blade. So for the people who always complain about there not being enough big blades out there, hey, we got some big blades today. Actually, a few bigger blades too. 14C28N for the steel here. Is that hollow grind actually? No, that's flat. And a swedge along the back. Handles are Desert Tan micarta. At least they gave it some flavor with Desert Tan. Unlike Kizer up there, just tan. Anyway.
Tan by any other color would knife just as brown.
Knife just as cutly. Sure. Jason Breeden is the designer of this knife. There's a lot of fixed blades along similar vibes to this in the series. We've got a spine, or a tail mounted, but spine style pocket clip. which keeps it out of the way of the sides, meaning fewer opportunities for a hot spot in your palm there, at the expense of being a little bit more fiddly to use in the pocket. So there's definitely a plus and a minus to that type of construction right there. But that is a big, beefy folder that could take some abuse without being so thick that it would be unusable as an actual cutter. So there you go. Last, but certainly not least, I know we're running long probably at this point, 2 new handle covers to talk about from Case. I have on the full-size Hunter right here, the olive green jigged bone. It's not super green, but it looks really good. I like the backside of this one especially.
More olive than green.
Yeah, you know, it's like mustardy olive almost. Like if you mashed up an olive with some Dijon mustard. You getting a visual yet?
More of an aroma.
Yeah, that's true. 99 bucks for this one. But you know, as with any new handle cover introduction from Case, there's gonna be a range of patterns and prices. Looks like we're starting at about 60 bucks for the tiny trapper. But there's also a trapper, large stockman, medium Texas toothpick, mini copper lock, and Sodbuster Jr. with this handle. And on top of that, also the Pacific Tides Kirinite. We just saw these at Blade Show. They are here now. This is the sow belly at about 90 bucks, which is probably my favorite Case pattern. I've always been partial to Stockman type things, and this is has a little more kind of flair than their standard Stockman models with the sow belly handle shape here. Overall, really nice. Pardon my fingerprints here, of course. Prices on these are gonna start at $72 for a mini trapper or baby dock. You can also get a mini copper lock, peanut. Ooh, the peanut's a little few dollars less, like 69 bucks. And full-size trapper and medium Texas toothpick in this cover as well. All right, folks, that's all I've got for this week. That's a lot of new knives this week. So if you have a problem with any of it, I'm very sorry that you feel that way.
Comment.
Let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comments. I'm not actually trying to get aggressive with anyone. I'm being sarcastic, just in case anyone's a little turned off by that. For that, I do apologize. Anyway, check out the links in the description if you want to get your hands on any of these knives. And while you're over there at the Knife Center, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our new Sezzle payment options if you want to make some of these more expensive knives a little more affordable. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center, and that's Thomas behind the camera, and we are signing off. See you next time.